Hello, it is Jacinta Mpali Nkana, and today I'm going to share with you 8 lessons, 8 revelations that came from my out of body experience that I went through on Sunday this month, Sunday, March 17th, 2018, when I experienced an out of body experience on that morning, an experience that literally changed my perception of life. And very briefly, this is how I knew that I was really operating out of my body. In the moment, first of all, I spent all night awake. I was so uncomfortable. I cried all night because I felt like something was not right within me. Something wasn't right within my brain. Something wasn't right within my body. And I felt pain. I felt I was going through some sort of pain that I couldn't point a finger to. You know, and when I woke up in the morning, when I got out of bed, I went to the bathroom to splash water on my face, cold water on my face, and I happened to look at myself in the mirror. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I realized that I was looking at myself from out of myself. I saw that I was seeing myself in the mirror, but I wasn't in the body. I wasn't what I was seeing in the mirror. There was a part of me that was seeing in the mirror. I felt as though I was operating myself from out of myself, actually moving myself to the mirror, to the bed, back to the bed, and whatever I was doing it to my body, like I was metaphysically or magically or somehow directing my body to move. It was very, very, very scary. I felt so uncomfortable. It was painful. I felt separated from my body. I felt like a part of me saw my feet, but I was also something else, that I was watching the body. I felt as if I was separated from my brain, like the brain was becoming something or getting something. I couldn't place a finger on it. So I realized that I wasn't in my body and I wasn't using my brain to observe all these things. I was there in the moment as an observer of myself. Somehow I knew that something was trying to come through me, and it was extremely uncomfortable, not being in my body, not operating from my brain, but a part of it, yet operating it. It was as if I was operating the body and brain from out of it. Oh, I broke down and cried hysterically because I thought I was losing my mind. But then this voice told me that it's okay to lose your mind because you will still be you. You're not your mind. You're not your body or even your brain. You're something that isn't. You are pure consciousness. And this is when I started receiving all these messages that left me in awe. So I'll share the messages that came through me. I'm sure these messages are already out there, and I'm just going to share the messages, and if they can help you get out your own reality or spark something in you, then I've done my job. Then my experience didn't go fruitless. The first message that came through to me was, we are all pure consciousness, meaning that we are not anything else in the human condition. We are the operators, engineers of the lives and bodies we've chosen. And as conscious beings, we use our free will, mostly unconsciously, to create lives that we literally are not enjoying in the human form that we dwell in. And the idea is to step into and access more of our consciousness, our eternal secret self, and create our lives from that angle. An angle that has no bias, but creates to progress because it understands and knows that our human condition is so temporary, so we may as well do the best with it. Point number 2, message number 2, was that there is nothing like hate. All is love with opposing intentions. Anything that involves the creative process is founded on love. Love is the creative process, is the creative force. Love is the process that creates. A creation may not be enjoyable to the recipients, but that doesn't negate the force that created it. Love. What we call hate is basically love with a negative intention or an intention that seeks to conflict the steady flow of progress or peace of another. That's why our creations inspire happiness in some people and inspire the opposite emotions in others, because of our differences in perceptions and intentions. And now that was a hard one. That was a really hard one. I'm like, what? There is no hatred? But that was the message. Message number 3. Life is a very costly choice that we as pure consciousness make. Because when we reincarnate, we are moving away from our secret self, the I am eternal part that we are, where there are no expectations, desires, demands, or challenges. Because we are all things, yet nothing. We are everywhere, yet nowhere. Yet in the human conditions, we are limited to its physical form, with a mind that generally is corrupted at death, with blinders about the real reason why we reincarnate. But we as pure consciousness choose the human state, which costs us the possibility of forgetting who we truly are. As such, we suffer, which is a cost to consciousness, feel pain, another cost to consciousness, and go through many other negative emotions so that we can recognize and appreciate the opposite emotions. So we step away from unity, where we are all things, which is consciousness, and step away the human form, which is separation, where contrast is needed for us in our human form, to appreciate what is. As such, because of this price we pay, we have to enjoy every moment, because it's the last moment of its kind. And especially because we are paying such a high price to be ourselves as human, stepping away from consciousness, we may as well enjoy the ride. Message number 4. Words are useless. They're not even nothing, because nothing is everything at the source. Words misinterpret reality. They just give us a limited perception of what something truly is. They give us a limited version. The real deal is in the feelings, because feelings can expand without limits. They don't have to be defined or confined. That's why it's said that feelings are the language of the universe. Message number 5. In nature is everything that is already within us, meaning that everything is in nature is already within us. We and nature are one. Nature expresses itself in different forms than ours, because it is giving us a chance as humans to recognize it as different from us, and as such we can use it as keys or ignitions to access who we truly are. For instance, a red stone, the quartz, that is believed to send off love vibrations or to heal the heart. Although it's a love gem, like a quartz stone, its core, what's in its core is love. So the gem, the stone, is just a materialistic expression of love, of the love it stores. Since we already have love within us, when we use or touch or access this stone, the quartz stone, all we are doing is using it to access what it promises. We are using it as a key to open our own love source. You should also consider other things like that might appear weird, like a mountain or a tree. These items also do have something in them that we already have. Another good example is fire. Although fire might express itself as this red, yellow, hot glow, what's in it is in us, except that the fire is expressing itself in a way, in a form that supports us so that we can recognize it. But the ingredients in this fire are also in our inner fire. So what is in this fire is also in us. When you look at a fire, you realize that in the fire, you just feel like when you sit on a fire, you feel protected, you feel a warmth, you feel comfort, you feel hope. You feel people sit around the fire to connect to each other, to stay warm, to access their memories. There are so many reasons why people sit on a fire. The point is, whatever is in this fire, the core of this fire is already within you, and you just sit and you're just using the fire or uniting with this fire to open your own inner fire resources. I hope I'm clear. And then I went on to receive, for instance, also the water element. By sitting by the ocean or any other water base, you are accessing your own water reserves and whatever the water element provides for your well-being. Therefore, the lake or ocean or other water base ignites your access to what the water element provides. That also goes for plants that we call medicine. These plants have ingredients that we already have. The plants provide healing by either giving us more of what we already have but need more of, or they act as electricity that charges our own resources that are already within us. In a nutshell, we are everything and everything is us. The only difference is the way we and everything choose to express itself in the physical form. And that difference is what creates diversity, and that rewards us with difference. That way we get to experience ourselves in different forms, which is the deliberate manifestation of life in this human dimension. Message number 6. In nature are the lessons, messages we need to live life on our terms as we express ourselves as humans. For instance, mountains and hills teach us or remind us that life or being alive means that there are bottoms and tops. There are counters. Nothing is straight. And that we only recognize the top when we are at the bottom and vice versa. At the top, we are no longer at the bottom per se, because there are mountains that have tops higher than where we are. It never ends. It never ends. And that's why what success truly is accepting and appreciating where you are fully, because wherever you go, there will always be another somewhere else to go. And this doesn't end until we transition. Therefore, whenever we feel confused or stressed out, let's go to nature, and by indulging with nature, we get to tap into beingness, which is staying in and appreciating every moment without resisting as these moments manifest. Message number 7. Meditation is the strongest entry point to consciousness, to the secret self, also known as God within us, that dwells as us and is expressing itself in the human form. In pure consciousness, we get to redirect our lives the way we want them to be. Message number 8. Our lives, brains, and etc. are directed and operated by our secret self, consciousness. That's why some people can be brain dead for days or months and get to live lives fully again after those experiences. Remember, we are not alive because we have brains or other organs. We are alive because our secret self, consciousness, is present in our bodies. When it lives, we live. In reality, we are the it that lives. Everything is alone, something we use to express ourselves in this dimension as human beings. But we are nothing that can be defined. That's why we can be and can express ourselves as everything. We are everything by default. Now, I know this might be really deep, but I know I'm almost sure that these messages have already been shared. But I'm gonna recoup very briefly, give you a summary, and you can rewind this video, this audio recording, for you to go through these messages again and see if you relate to any of them, or if they spark a memory, something within you, so that you can remember who you truly are. Because trust me, we've been deceived. We are living a lie. So I'll recoup the messages for you. Number 1, we are pure consciousness, meaning that we are not anything else in the human condition. We are the operators, engineers of the lives and bodies we've chosen as conscious beings. We use our free will, mostly unconsciously, to create lives that we literally are not enjoying. Number 2, there is nothing like hate. All is love with opposing intentions. Anything that involves the creative force, creative process is founded on love. Love is the creative process. What makes the difference between love and hate is the intention. There is nothing like hate. Message number 3, life is a very costly choice that we as pure consciousness make, so we may as well enjoy it. Message number 4, words are useless. They are not even nothing, because nothing is everything at the source. Words misrepresent reality. They just give us a limited perception of what something truly is. The real deal is in the feelings, because feelings can expand without limit, and they don't have to be defined or confined. That's why it's said that feelings are the language of the universe. Message number 5, in nature is everything that is already within us. Message number 6, in nature are the lessons and messages we need to live life on our terms. So let's attempt often to go back to nature, which will help us align to who we truly are. Message number 7, meditation is the strongest entry to consciousness, to the secret self within us that dwells within us, expressing in the human form. In pure consciousness, we get to redirect our lives or direct our lives the way we want to live them. Message number 8, our lives, brains, etc. are directed and separated by our secret, directed and operated by our secret self, consciousness. That's why some people can be brain dead for days or months and get to live full lives after that. Remember, everything in this life is alone, something that we use to express ourselves in this human dimension, in this dimension as humans. But we are nothing that can be defined. That's why we can be and can express ourselves as everything, because by default, we are everything. Now have an amazing, blessed day, and I love you, and I hope I will hear from you. Please leave your comments, and I'm sending you God's love and light.